Atheists seek out God believers and use vote bots to downrate our videos. Please support believers by thumbing us up. Thank you and God bless you.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Brett Keene from God TV Radio. Make sure you check out my gaming channel, Games You Love. And when you get an opportunity, check out Brett Keene Superstar, as well as God TV Radio International, where we do live broadcast. Atheists and God believers have discussions and debates all the time. It's really fun, and I've made a lot of friends that way. Also, if you feel like supporting my channel, there's a PayPal link as well as a Patreon account where you can donate and support me any way you see fit. You know, recently on Twitter, a twit was put out by Richard Dawkins stating that someone had created an account and was going around impersonating him, talking to his friends, talking to his colleagues, and trolling, cracking jokes while pretending to be him. Richard Dawkins was so offended that he called out to Twitter and stated, "Hey Twitter, I don't want to be impersonated. I don't like to be mocked and ridiculed like this." Even though Richard Dawkins himself has stated that atheists should mock and ridicule God believers. Well, apparently the impersonator of Richard Dawkins got wind of this, came over to his account and replied, "Hey Richard, maybe the account on Twitter simply created itself, coming from nothing." And Richard Dawkins shut the hell up. Richard Dawkins has been known, he has a well-known reputation for getting offended at other people's comments or what certain or specific people say in society. But he doesn't seem to have any kind of problem with telling mothers on Twitter that they ought to abort their disabled children. He basically states, if you know that your child's going to have any kind of discrepancies or issues whatsoever, you should abort it. But I want you to notice how he actually words it. He writes, abort it. He considers Down syndrome children to be its. Not people, not human beings, not people with a disability, but simply an it, like an object, an inanimate thing. You know, that's usually how serial killers and murderers and rapists actually see their victim, as an it. Something that they can get power over, something that they're stronger than. It's one of the reasons why they do it, so they can feel some kind of trip. So it's interesting that a well-known scientist of the world who is supposed to be bettering mankind and offering some kind of contribution, instead of using science to come up with ways to fix children with disabilities or help them, his solution is simply to eradicate them, commit genocide. Don't you find it strange that as an atheist with a naturalistic worldview, nothing beyond it, knowing that his morality is subjective, would actually make objective, absolute claims on what an individual should do in a life or death situation? Take out a baby. Take out an infant, take out a child simply because it has a disability. You know, it's strange. If society had not made it so difficult and so hard on even what we would refer to as normal functioning human beings, it wouldn't be that rough on people who are disabled. If we simply tried to be more compatible and make a society where we take care of our weak and we help those who are having a difficult time getting jobs or finding programs and things out that can actually help people who are limited in their skill base, that seems like that's a lot more productive than to simply kill people or destroy people or complain about society's woes. If we want a better society, perhaps we ought to love our neighbor, love our enemies, and love those who are limited in their skill set and help them even more. Not kill them, destroy them, mock and ridicule. He's like a typical atheist. What can one suspect? I guess that's how he feels that he evolved. Don't you find it unusual that a guy who actually thinks that he evolved from a slug, who came out of the womb of a primate, is telling you what is moral to have and what is immoral not to have? Don't you think it unusual that he literally looks at evolution as this is the way of life. And according to Darwin, it's all got to be about survival of the fittest, kill or be killed. Interesting. What if some alien life form had seen his ancestors being nothing more than a standard slug and decided to step on it? I guess what I'd have to ask atheists is, does life on any level have value to you or worth? Or do we just simply dispose of life because it's inconvenient for us, or there might be a little bit more effort involved in helping another life form? Who knows? Richard Dawkins argues that there are so many different similarities between that of a primate and a human being that is the only alternative or explanation, and it's why it is that we exist today, because we allegedly evolved from a primate. Of course, when we look at evolution and compare it with genetic entropy, it just isn't the case. How can a system that deteriorates and dies and loses information continue to create an atomical body and add inanimate features to that of the body? That's getting more information, not losing it, according to the second law of thermodynamics, as well as genetic entropy. I've got some questions for Richard Dawkins, but I know that he only looks and seeks out those he thinks that he can defeat. He doesn't look for anyone that he thinks could challenge him or his evolutionary view or his atheist religion, declared by the Supreme Court to be just that. My question for you, Dawkins, is, can you give an evolutionary naturalistic explanation for grief? Grief. Also, I would like you to give me a naturalistic evolutionary explanation for pain receptors. How you went from a slug to actually having pain receptors. Why is it that the body produced such information to send messages from your brain and your body to tell you that you have pain? Can you explain the process and how the body chose to do this?
My name is Dawn Keene. Please check out our new channel, God TV Radio International Network. Also, check out our gaming channel, Games You Love. You can follow us on Google+, Twitter, and Facebook. Links are in the description. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and rate. Have a good day.